Introduction. The Glico-Morinaga case is one of the most notorious and mysterious cases in Japanese criminal history. It involves a series of linked incidents that occurred between 1984 and 1985, in which confectionery companies Glico and Morinaga were targeted by a group of unknown criminals. The case remains unsolved to this day and has attracted widespread attention both in Japan and around the world. In this paper, we will examine the details of the case, including the methods used by the criminals, the investigations that were launched in response, and the various theories that have been put forward as to the identity of the perpetrators. We will also explore the wider cultural and historical context in which the case occurred, in order to shed light on the significance of this enigmatic and disturbing episode. Description. The first incident in the Glico-Morinaga case occurred on June 18, 1984, when a man claiming to be a company representative contacted Glico's Osaka headquarters and demanded a ransom of 50 million yen, approximately $470,000, in exchange for not contaminating their products with cyanide. The man threatened to inject the poison into the company's popular caramel sweets, Pocky, if his demands were not met. The company initially dismissed the threat as a prank, but a few days later, they received a package containing a letter and a small amount of cyanide-laced Pocky. The letter contained a detailed explanation of how the poison had been injected into the sweets and demanded that the ransom be paid by June 28. Despite the seriousness of the threat, Glico initially refused to pay the ransom, instead choosing to launch an internal investigation and cooperate with the police. However, on June 28, the deadline for the payment of the ransom, a fire broke out at the Glico factory in Osaka. The fire was quickly extinguished, but a message was found scrawled on a factory wall that read, "Pay the 50 million yen." The police subsequently launched a full-scale investigation but were unable to identify any suspects. The case took a more sinister turn in March 1985, when a similar threat was made against Morinaga, another confectionery company. This time, the demand was for 100 million yen, approximately $940,000, and the threat was made in the form of a letter sent to a newspaper. The letter claimed that Morinaga's products had been contaminated with potassium cyanide and that if the ransom was not paid, they would be poisoned. The letter also included a warning that the criminals had access to firearms and explosives, and would use them if necessary. Like Glico, Morinaga initially refused to pay the ransom, but the company's Tokyo headquarters were subsequently bombed on April 18. The bomb caused extensive damage to the building, but fortunately, no one was injured. The police investigation into the Glico-Morinaga case was one of the largest and most complex in Japanese history, involving thousands of officers and spanning several years. The investigation was hampered by the fact that the perpetrators had used a variety of different methods to communicate with the companies and the media, including phone calls, letters, and messages left at the scene of the crimes. The methods used to plant the explosives and inject the poison into the confectionery products were also highly sophisticated, suggesting that the criminals were skilled and experienced in these areas. Despite the efforts of the police, the Glico-Morinaga case remains unsolved to this day. Numerous theories have been put forward as to the identity of the perpetrators, including links to organized crime, political movements, and even foreign governments. However, none of these theories have been proven, and the case remains a mystery that continues to fascinate and intrigue observers around the world. Conclusion. The Glico-Morinaga case is a fascinating and deeply troubling episode in Japanese criminal history. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share, and like for more updates on mysteries.